And just to close this off, the other members who are on the group are from the press or outside the government sector.
So we have Steve Sankushman is joining us. He will be discussing an item at executive session. Steve's with the law department, and Doug and Kyle Martin are joining. They are with Transpar. They've been helping the Department of Education with this process, and they will be helping with any questions on one of the agenda items related to the executive director search. And the other guests on the meeting, this is an open meeting, so it's open to the public. I know we also have some folks from the EDC. Max Padden is here. I see Nick Stewart, and I believe Jen Cohen was going to join us. They will also be presenting during executive session. And Russell Buckley from the Department of Education is on. He works on the Division of Finance, also to answer questions as need be. And then the other folks on the call are members of the public. They may be members of I see some members of the media, but it is open meeting.
Good. Thank you so much.
Can I ask
one technical question? How do I change the name underneath me? I see my daughter and son-in-law have changed this to their name. Is there a way to rename myself?
You know, I am not sure on that. I think it's probably affiliated with the account that you're logging in from. So I'm not sure if that's something we can do.
I was able to change it yesterday. So anyway, I'll speak to them. So
okay.
When you see Rebecca and Hugh, it's really Bob Lynn.
Perfect. So Lauren, we are recording, and I'll turn it over to you.
Great. Thank you, Nicholas. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today at the board meeting of the NYC School Bus Umbrella Services. I call the meeting to order and note for the record that we have a quorum. My name is Lauren Siciliano, and I serve as Chief Administrative Officer of the Department of Education. I would like to welcome the board members present with us today: Bob Lynn, former Commissioner of the Office of Labor Relations; P.V. Anantharam, Senior Vice President and CFO of New York Law School; and Neda Franco-Martinez, former President of Community Education Council in District 7. We are also joined by Carrie Gao, Assistant Director of Labor Relations for the Office of Management and Budget. As some of you know, a few weeks ago, Mayor de Blasio announced a long-term investment in school bus transportation that will provide greater stability, flexibility, and oversight in school bus services in the years ahead. The Department of Education has reached a tentative agreement to purchase the operating assets of Reliant Transportation, including its vehicle fleet and equipment and intellectual property necessary to provide busing services. This not-for-profit and this board were created to manage those assets, operate those routes that serve approximately 10% of the DOE's busing network. I look forward to working with all of you to help build this organization and to partner in delivering reliable and safe services to our students. Our first order of business today is to adopt bylaws. You received a copy of the draft bylaws with the agenda. Do I have a motion to put the item on the table?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions or discussion on the proposed bylaws?
No.
Hearing none. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The bylaws are approved. Our next order of business is the election of a board treasurer. Do I have a nomination?
Can I nominate Carrie Gao?
Second?
Second.
Are there any questions or discussion on the nomination? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful. Carrie Gao is elected board treasurer. For the purpose of keeping meeting minutes and in accordance with our bylaws, I would like to designate Board Director Bob Lynn as interim secretary for this meeting. Now I will preview the remainder of our agenda, which today includes consideration of various resolutions as well as executive session. Our first resolution for consideration is to establish a governance committee. This resolution would appoint Bob Lynn as chair of this committee and designate each member of the board as a member of the committee as well. Do I have a motion to put the item on the table?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is approved. Our second resolution for consideration is to establish an audit committee. This resolution would appoint Carrie Gow, our treasurer, as chair of this committee and designate each member of the board as a member of the committee as well. Do I have a motion to put the item on the table?
So moved.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The resolution is approved. Our next resolution relates to the appointment of temporary staff for the corporation. The Office of Management and Budget has agreed to designate a staff person to assist in the day-to-day matters of the corporation until such time as the board can hire full-time staff. This person will be identified by OMB in the coming days and will remain on OMB payroll, and the corporation will reimburse OMB for their time spent on NYCSBUS duties. Do I have a motion to put the item on the table?
Yes.
A second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is approved. Our next resolution relates to the recruitment of an executive director. I would like to turn it over to Nicholas Dorelli-Castro to present to the board the recruitment plan and proposed qualifications and priorities for the search.
Thank you, Lauren. We are coming to you looking to move forward with posting for an executive director who would be the chief executive officer of this organization. We are working with Transpart to help us identify the qualities of this person, the qualifications of this person that we would be seeking. As I mentioned, they're joining us here today in case you have questions about what they've identified as some of the key qualities that we should look for in the leader for NYCSBUS. So I think starting off, in terms of the main duties and strategies, obviously effective strategy management and continuous improvement will be key parts of the duties and responsibilities of this person. This will be a person will be deeply involved in the policy organization, the planning, the operation mechanisms for NYCSBUS. And in terms of the types of skills that Transpart has identified as priorities, we're looking for someone with thorough knowledge of the laws, regulations, and practices in this line of work, which are they're many, they're interwoven and complicated. So someone who brings that kind of skill would be important, so that the organization can kick off without any lag in learning the web of rules that are required to operate busing and transportation safely. Another key component will be someone well prepared for hiring practices and personnel management. This will be a significant organization with many employees, most of them drivers and attendants, but still many key positions in terms of the maintenance of the fleet and the operations of those buses to make sure that buses are running efficiently, running well, picking up kids, dropping them off. So we want to make sure that there's someone who can identify talent to make sure that happens. And because it's a business that requires the safe operation of motor vehicles transporting children, someone who has the working knowledge of the mechanical systems, the operation of fleets, to make sure that they remain safe and efficient and working, so that we know we can rely on them. Thorough understanding of budget and maintenance, to make sure that the organization remains effective, and knowing that we're entering a time of budgetary uncertainty, being able to manage to a budget will also be key part of what we would be looking for in this person as we start a recruitment process. In terms of the qualifications, we're going to try to target someone who has at least 10 years of experience in executive leadership in the school bus business, or certainly related to the work of working in a school district would be ideal. We're going to be looking for someone with a business administration degree, a public administration degree, or something related, preferably with that higher degree at the master's level where possible. And strong written verbal communications, strong organizational skills. This will be an organization, this will be a person who will be tasked with starting to run buses in the near future. We want to make sure it's someone who's prepared and ready to take on the task as soon as they're on board. In terms of a recruitment strategy, Transpar has identified for us various national associations who can help certainly publicize this position, including the National Association of Pupil Transportation, National School Transportation Association, State Directors of Pupil Transportation, various other, and some New York State specific associations. I think this will be a position that'll be attractive for someone up to this challenge. And so in addition to working through those organizations to identify candidates or to publicize it to their members, we'd also be looking to social print and online media to recruit this person, including places such as LinkedIn, school administrator job posting websites, and the like. So those are the parameters that our Transpar has helped us develop. As you know, this is a new function. This would be a new role. And so we've relied on their experience in terms of what this person ought to be able to do in this position to lead this organization. And these are the qualification skills that they've highlighted to us as important in finding the right person to lead NYCSBUS.
Do you have an idea as to how long the process is going to be to select an individual?
Great question, PV. We hopefully, starting from today, to move forward on this process, we will get a job description posted immediately. And certainly, I think a goal would be within the month, within 6 weeks, would be terrific to have a candidate for this board to approve. That person would come back to this board for approval, or maybe multiple candidates for consideration would come back to the board. But certainly, the goal would be within the next month, ideal. Certainly, within the next 6 weeks would be great because of the time crunch to turn around and make sure that NYCSBUS is operational.
Is there an expectation of an administrative structure for the corporation or in the corporation? And what is the timeline on that? Or is it expectation that the executive director will be deciding those things?
We've started those conversations. Transpar has helped us think through what an organizational structure would look like as well. I think the goal here would be to work with the candidates who are selected to also make sure that their vision is incorporated into what the rest of the organization looks like. So there certainly is been some thought into what the various departments would be: fleet management, the sort of the back office, things like payroll, and the bus depot management. There's certainly a thought in terms of what it would look like. I think what we'd like to do is once we have and the board has selected an executive director, is to work with that person using the structure that Transpar has given us to work with to make sure that it works in alignment with the executive director's vision as well.
Okay, thanks.
I don't know whether you reached a conclusion, but I would advocate if you do have 2 or 3 viable candidates, that the board does interview each of them.
Absolutely. Yes, and certainly, as I mentioned, the whoever is eventually appointed to this position would come to before the board before they are in the position. And certainly anticipate, as I mentioned, interest in here. So we hope to attract multiple qualified candidates that would then come to the board for consideration.
Good.
Wonderful. Thank you, Nicholas. Do I have a motion to put the item on the table?
Yes.
Second?
Second.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is approved. Our next 2 resolutions concern basic operations of NYCSBUS. The first is to open a bank account, and the second is to seek startup funding in the amount of $500,000 from the Fund for the City of New York. This funding would be used to fund basic operations of the organization until such time as the corporation's pending procurement with the Department of Education is finalized. Do I have a motion to put the item on the table?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
are there any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The resolution is approved. And just to be clear, Nicholas, do we need to do separate votes for each of the two different resolutions?
We do. They're
Okay.
separated into two resolutions.
Okay, so the first vote that we just took would be to open the bank account. So let's now do a second round to seek startup funding in the amount of $500,000. Do I have a motion to put that item on the table?
Yes.
Second?
Yeah.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is approved. That concludes our consideration of resolutions. Our next item of business is to move to executive session to discuss a potential acquisition and collective bargaining. Board members and relevant staff will soon be asked to move into a breakout room. Please accept that prompt when you receive it.
I will be going through here. So board members, you'll receive the prompt in the next few minutes, and we will see you in that breakout room.
And we stay on, or do we a separate email?
What you will do is on your screen, you should receive a prompt asking you to join. And if you click that prompt, it'll take you to a separate Zoom conference room.
Okay.
So it takes a minute as I scroll through the participants to assign. Nada, if you're still on here, if you could let me know which number you have called in from. I think you're the only person that I'm missing assigning to the room. And for the rest of the folks, we will be back as soon as executive session is concluded. So the recording will cease now, and we will return momentarily. I'm going to start recording us, and you board members may have to unmute yourselves if you can, so that we can take the vote. Okay, over to you, Lauren. We're recording.
Great, thank you, Nicholas. There being no further business on the agenda, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, everyone. The meeting is adjourned.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.